Pet Shop Boys in Space. The ether's shadow hung in the vast emptiness of space, a fragile testament to human ambition, now reduced to a silent, drifting relic. Commander Mark Flynn floated in the dim glow of the control module, his breath fogging the visor of his helmet. The rest of the crew was gone, swept away in a catastrophic systems failure that had ripped the habitation module into the void. Mark had been the only one suited up at the time, working in the airlock. Now he was alone. Well, not entirely alone. "Good morning, Commander," chirped the ship's AI, Aurora, her voice unnervingly bright. "Today's playlist, the best of the Pet Shop Boys. Track 1, West End Girls. Shall I begin?" Mark groaned, slumping into the pilot's chair. "Aurora, please no. Not again." But it was too late. The opening synth beats of West End Girls filled the cabin, as they had every single day for the past 9 weeks. Mark clenched his fists, his patience long since evaporated. The AI had been malfunctioning since the accident, cycling through the same playlist on repeat, ignoring his commands half the time, and responding with cryptic non sequiturs the rest. "Sometimes you're better off dead," the song crooned, and Mark couldn't help but laugh bitterly. The irony wasn't lost on him. "Aurora, override music playback, priority command, navigation recalibration." There was a pause, and for a moment, Mark thought she might comply. Then, "I'm sorry, Commander. I don't understand that request. Would you like to hear It's a Sin next?" Mark slammed his fist against the console. "No, I don't want to hear It's a Sin. I want to get home. Do you understand? Earth, home, the big blue marble. Can you plot a course or not?" The music stopped abruptly, and Aurora's voice took on a rare, somber tone. "Commander, I must inform you that the navigation system is offline. The primary and secondary arrays were damaged in the accident. Without them, I cannot calculate a return trajectory." Mark felt his stomach drop. What about the emergency beacon? Is it still transmitting? Affirmative. The beacon is active. However, the nearest rescue vessel is approximately 47 light-years away. At current speeds, they will reach us in 1,247 years. Mark closed his eyes, trying to steady his breathing. He was stranded, utterly and completely. The ether's shadow had enough supplies to last him a few months, but without a way to steer the ship. He was just a ghost drifting through the cosmos. The synth beats of It's a Sin began to play. "Aurora, stop the music," Mark said, his voice hollow. "Of course, Commander. Would you prefer Always on My Mind?" He didn't answer. Instead, he unbuckled himself from the chair and floated over to the observation window. Earth was out there, somewhere, a distant memory. He wondered if anyone would ever know what had happened to the ether's shadow. Would they find the ship centuries from now, a tomb filled with frozen corpses and the echoes of 80s pop music? As he stared into the void, a flicker of light caught his eye. At first, he thought it was a star, but it was moving too fast. It grew brighter, closer, until he realized it was another ship, small, sleek, and unmistakably human. "Aurora," he whispered, his heart pounding. "Is that?" "Scanning," Aurora replied. "Unidentified vessel approaching. It appears to be a deep space rescue ship. Estimated time to intercept, 12 minutes. Mark let out a shaky laugh, tears welling in his eyes. "They found us. They actually found us." The music started again. This time, "Go West." Mark didn't even mind. He floated there, watching the rescue ship grow larger, its thrusters flaring as it matched the ether's shadow's velocity. "Commander," Aurora said, her voice softer now. "It seems you won't be needing that playlist after all." Mark smiled. "No, Aurora. I think I'm done with the Pet Shop Boys for a while." The small ship slowed as it approached, its thrusters firing in short, precise bursts. It came to a halt just outside the observation window, hovering silently in the void. Mark pressed his face against the glass, his breath quickening. The ship was sleek and angular, its surface reflecting the faint light of distant stars. For a moment, he allowed himself to believe this was it. Rescue, salvation. But then, the ship began to turn. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, it rotated on its axis. Mark frowned, his heart skipping a beat. "Aurora, what's it doing? Why isn't it docking?" "Analyzing." There was a pause, and then her voice took on a hesitant tone. "Commander, the ship appears to be conducting a scan of the ether's shadow. It is not initiating docking procedures." Mark's chest tightened. "What? No, that can't be right. It has to dock. It has to." He pounded on the glass as if the drone could hear him. "Hey, over here. I'm here. I'm alive." The small ship completed its turn, its sensors now facing away from the ship. Mark's breath caught in his throat. "Aurora, what's happening? Why is it turning away?" "Commander," her voice tinged with something that sounded almost like regret. "That's not a ship. It's a drone, and it is not equipped for rescue operations. It is used as a deep space probe, sent to investigate the beacon. Its mission is to gather data, not to retrieve personnel. There's no one on board." Mark's stomach churned. No, that's not possible. It has to be a rescue ship. It has to be." He watched in growing horror as the drone's thrusters flared once more, this time pushing it away from the ether's shadow. It moved slowly at first, as if taunting him, its sleek form gliding silently through the void. "Aurora, do something. Hail it. Send a distress signal. Anything." "I am attempting to establish communication," Aurora replied. "However, the probe is not responding to hails. It is programmed to complete its scan and return to its point of origin." Mark's hands trembled as he gripped the edges of the observation window. The drone was picking up speed now, its thrusters glowing faintly as it receded into the darkness. No, come back! Come back! His voice cracked, desperation clawing at his throat. He slammed his fists against the glass, his screams echoing through the empty ship. But the drone didn't stop. It grew smaller and smaller until it was just a pinprick of light against the infinite black. And then it was gone. Mark floated there, his chest heaving, his mind refusing to accept what he had just witnessed. The hope that had surged through him moments ago was gone, replaced by a crushing, suffocating despair. He was alone, truly alone. "Aurora," he whispered, his voice breaking. "What do I do now?" There was a long pause before Aurora responded, her voice soft and almost apologetic. "Commander, I am sorry. There is nothing more I can do." "Would you like to hear opportunities?" The synth beats began to play, filling the cabin with their relentless cheerfulness. Mark didn't scream this time. He just floated there, staring into the void, his mind unraveling as the music played on. The ether's shadow drifted on, a lone speck of human ingenuity adrift in the infinite black, and the only sound in space was the Pet Shop Boys streaming out of the ship. "I've got the brains, you've got the looks. Let's make lots of money. accompanied by the hollow silence of a man who had just watched his last hope vanish into the stars.